Some people don't dislike you. They are uncomfortable with the emotional intelligence you carry. There is a reason people react strongly to you, and it has nothing to do with arrogance, attitude, or ego. It's because you reflect what they try to hide. A Heyoka Empath does not absorb emotions the way others do. You mirror them. You stand in front of people like emotional glass, and suddenly they can see themselves clearly. You don't expose secrets, you don't accuse, you don't interrogate. Yet somehow around you, masks slip. People feel seen before they feel safe. And for many, that is terrifying. Your emotional intelligence allows you to sense the gap between what someone says and what they mean, between their confidence and their insecurity, between their kindness and their control. You feel the emotional truth behind the performance. And without effort, you reflect it back through your presence, your tone, your timing, even your silence. This is why some people are drawn to you immediately. They feel relief, as if someone finally understands them without judgment. But others grow restless, defensive, irritated, not because you did something wrong, but because truth removes their comfort. Most people are not disturbed by lies, they are disturbed by clarity. When you walk into a room, emotional games lose their power. Manipulation becomes obvious, pretending becomes exhausting, and people who rely on control, charm, or emotional fog feel exposed, even if you never say a word. That discomfort often turns into projection. They may call you intense. They may say you are too deep. They may accuse you of being cold, arrogant, or difficult. But what they are reacting to is not your personality. It is their own reflection. Heyoka Empath triggers self-awareness in others, and self-awareness is painful for those who have avoided themselves for years. You don't mirror people to punish them. You mirror them to bring balance. In many ancient traditions, the Heyoka was a sacred mirror, a figure who disrupted illusion so healing could begin. And healing always begins with discomfort. Before growth comes confrontation. Before transformation comes truth. That is why emotionally immature people struggle with you. They want empathy without accountability, connection without honesty, comfort without change. But your presence demands alignment. You show people who they are when no one is watching. You reflect not just their wounds, but their potential. And that is another reason people feel uneasy around you, because deep down, they know they could be more, and they are not ready to face that responsibility. So if you have ever wondered why certain people suddenly pull away from you, criticize you, or try to control you, understand this: you didn't threaten them. You revealed them. And not everyone wants to be revealed. Your power is not aggression, your power is clarity. Your strength is not loudness, your strength is presence. You don't chase validation, you don't need to prove your worth. You simply exist in emotional truth, and truth does the rest. So do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. Do not shrink your awareness to protect their illusions, because the world does not need more people who avoid truth. It needs mirrors brave enough to reflect it. And that is what you are. A Heyoka Empath does not heal with softness alone. You heal with humor, contradiction, and unexpected truth. Your laughter is not avoidance. Your jokes are not disrespect. They are a language of emotional intelligence. You instinctively understand something most people don't, that pain lowers its guard when it laughs. Humor bypasses defense systems. It sneaks past ego. It reaches places that serious conversations never touch. That is why when a room is heavy, you lighten it. When emotions grow unbearable, you introduce play. When someone is trapped in their own suffering, you crack a door open with laughter. But here's the part few understand. Your humor isn't random. It's precise. You joke about the thing everyone feels but refuses to say. You smile while naming truths people avoid. You turn emotional chaos into clarity, and that makes some people uncomfortable, because humor reveals without attacking. A Heyoka Empath doesn't mock wounds. You illuminate them. You expose emotional contradictions. The person who wants closeness but fears vulnerability. The one who claims strength but avoids honesty. The one who demands loyalty while offering control. Your humor gently points at the truth and says, look, For emotionally aware people, this feels like relief. For emotionally fragile or manipulative people, it feels like threat. They may accuse you of being insensitive. They may say you don't take things seriously. They may feel embarrassed, defensive, or exposed. But what they are reacting to is not cruelty, it is recognition. Your emotional intelligence allows you to feel the moment when seriousness would crush someone and humor would save them. Yet naughty, everyone wants to be saved that way. Some people survive by hiding behind seriousness, victimhood, or emotional drama. Your humor collapses those structures. You remind people they have power. You remind them they are not broken, just human. And that reminder can feel dangerous to those who benefit from staying wounded. There is also courage in your humor. It takes strength to laugh while feeling deeply. It takes wisdom to smile without denying pain. And it takes emotional maturity to hold joy and sorrow in the same breath. That balance is rare. This is why you may notice that people either heal around you or slowly distance themselves. Because humor forces choice, grow or retreat. A Heyoka Empath doesn't use humor to escape reality. You use it to return people to it. You understand that laughter reconnects people to their bodies, their breath, their present moment, and in the present moment, healing becomes possible. But remember this, not everyone deserves access to your healing. Some people want comfort without accountability. They want relief without reflection. They want laughter that distracts, not laughter that reveals. So when people misunderstand you, don't harden your heart, refine your boundaries. Your humor is sacred. It is medicine, and medicine must be given wisely. Never apologize for the way you heal. Never silence the part of you that brings light into darkness. Because those who are ready will feel it immediately, and those who aren't were never meant to stay. Heyoka Empath feels deeply, but not blindly. You experience emotions fully, yet you are not consumed by them. This is where people misunderstand you. They assume that because you are sensitive, you must be weak, that because you feel everything, you must lose yourself in others, but the truth is far more powerful. Your emotional intelligence has taught you discernment. You can walk into a room and feel the unspoken tension. You sense grief behind smiles, anger behind politeness, exhaustion behind strength. You register emotions before words are spoken, not because you are fragile, but because you are attuned. Yet unlike many empaths, you don't stay trapped in what you feel. You observe it, you process it, you learn from it. Feeling deeply did not break you. It trained you. You learned early that absorbing everything without boundaries leads to self-erasure. So at some point, something shifted. You stopped confusing empathy with self-sacrifice. You realized that compassion does not require self-destruction. That realization changed everything. You still care profoundly, but you no longer abandon yourself to prove it. This is why your presence feels different. You can sit with someone's pain without drowning in it. You can understand someone's wounds without excusing their behavior. You can offer support without losing your identity. That balance unsettles people. Some are used to empaths who overgive, overexplain, and overstay. They expect unlimited emotional access. They expect forgiveness without change. But you don't operate that way anymore. Your emotional intelligence allows you to recognize patterns, not just feelings. You see when empathy is being exploited. You notice when emotional connection becomes emotional labor. And once you see it clearly, you respond differently. Not with anger, not with blame, but with distance. And that distance is often misunderstood. People may say you became cold. They may accuse you of changing. They may feel abandoned, but what actually happened is this. You chose yourself without abandoning your values. You stopped betraying your inner world to maintain outer peace. A Heyoka Empath does not shut down emotionally. You redirect your energy. You learn where your depth is appreciated and where it is drained. You learn who respects your sensitivity and who consumes it. This is emotional maturity. You understand that feeling everything does not mean tolerating everything. That empathy without boundaries is not kindness. It is self-neglect. So when you step back, it is not because you stopped caring, it is because you finally cared enough about yourself. That is why your detachment feels final to some people, because once clarity arrives, there is no confusion left to negotiate with. You don't burn bridges in anger. You quietly stop crossing them alone, and in that choice you preserve something sacred, your identity. You remain open but not exposed. You remain kind but not available to harm. You remain empathetic but anchored in self-respect. This is what makes you powerful. Not the depth of what you feel, but the wisdom of how you hold it. You feel everything, and still you remain whole. The Heyoka Empath does not fight for attention. You fight for clarity. And when clarity arrives, something profound happens. You stop explaining. Your silence is not confusion. It is not avoidance. It is not emotional shutdown. It is resolution. A Heyoka Empath speaks when there is hope for understanding. You communicate, you try, you adjust, you forgive. You give words many chances to fix what is broken, but emotional intelligence teaches you a hard truth. Not everyone listens to understand. Some listen only to respond, control, deflect. When you realize that your words are no longer received in good faith, you withdraw them. That withdrawal is what people feel and fear, because silence removes leverage. No more emotional arguments to manipulate. No more explanations to twist. No more reactions to feed off. Your silence creates a mirror where noise used to be. People expect confrontation, they expect anger, they expect dramatic endings. But you offer something far more unsettling, absence. Not physical disappearance, emotional unavailability. You are still polite, still calm, still respectful, but the access is gone. This is why your silence is louder than any argument. It forces people to sit with themselves, with what they said, with what they did, with what they ignored. You do not need to punish. You do not need to prove anything. Your boundary becomes the message. A Heyoka Empath understands that closure does not come from final conversations. It comes from final decisions. And once that decision is made internally, your energy shifts before your words ever do. People feel it. They sense the warmth is gone. The emotional invitation has closed. The connection no longer reaches them the way it once did. That is when panic often appears. They may suddenly want to talk. They may accuse you of being distant. They may attempt guilt, charm, or urgency. But your silence remains steady, not cold, not cruel, just complete. Because you are no longer trying to be understood by someone who refuses to see. This is emotional maturity in its purest form. You do not argue with patterns. You do not negotiate with disrespect. You do not explain boundaries to people who benefit from crossing them. Your silence is not revenge. It is self-respect made visible. And here is the part few people grasp. Your silence is not empty. It is full of understanding, full of acceptance, full of truth. You have already processed what happened. You have already grieved what could have been. You have already learned the lesson. So there is nothing left to say. Words belong to the past. Silence belongs to the future. A Heyoka Empath moves forward quietly, not because you are weak, but because you are done carrying emotional weight that was never yours alone. And in that quiet strength, something remarkable happens. You reclaim your energy. You protect your peace. You choose alignment over attachment. Those who are emotionally intelligent will understand your silence immediately. Those who are not will feel it as loss. Either way, the message has been delivered. Without a single word,